we're going to tell you something that may blow your mind. Ready? Exercise isn't the best way to lose weight.
What?
That's right, exercise is not the best way to lose weight. When you take in all considerations and variables, you actually see that using exercise to burn fat during your weight loss journey will likely yield suboptimal results. In fact, we don't even believe your main reason for exercise should be weight loss. But what are we talking about? This video is going to flip this belief upside down, but trust us, in the end it's all going to make sense. Before we start, realize that this video will be explained as if you're someone who is trying to decide what to do to lose weight. However, the same principles apply to everyone. Let's continue. So tell us, do any of these sound familiar? This program is going to melt fat like butter. Burn 1,000 calories in an hour. The best weight loss program ever. If you've ever been around gyms for any length of time, you probably heard these, or something similar, many times over. While great marketing tools, none of them are being completely honest. However, most people buy into this as we've been conditioned to equate going to the gym with weight loss. We believe that the main purpose of the gym is to lose weight and burn fat and melt calories and all that. If you were to ask most people why they're going to the gym, it's going to be to lose weight. This is one of the reasons why cardio equipment is the most popular equipment in the gym. However, is this practice steering people down the wrong direction? We think so. We suggest that this mentality could result in disappointment. To be clear, we're not saying the gym won't help you lose weight, or even that it's bad to use the gym to lose weight. We're only saying that there's a better mindset. Again, it'll all make sense at the end. To understand this conundrum, first you need to understand how you lose weight. A very basic explanation is you simply need to burn more calories than you consume. Now, we understand there's plenty of nuance in that statement, and that there certainly are variables that need to be accounted for. However, for the sake of this video, this basic understanding is enough for our situation. So again, to lose weight, you must burn more calories than you consume. This means there are two variables that you can use to control calories: activity and diet. Consuming calories refers to any amount of food you eat. Our diet is composed of 3 macronutrients: protein, fat, and carbohydrates. These are the nutrients that you need to consume in sufficient quantities to support a healthy life. At the same time, these macros are also where you get your calories from. 1 gram of protein has 4 calories, 1 gram of fat has 9 calories, and 1 gram of carbohydrates also has 4 calories. The total amount of these macronutrients that you eat every day will determine your total calorie consumption. Now, burning calories is a bit more complicated, with a few more moving parts to consider. The total amount of calories you burn daily is known as your total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE. To calculate your TDEE, there are 4 different variables to consider. First and largest variable is your basal metabolic rate, or BMR. This is the total amount of calories you need just to support life. The easiest way to think about this is that this is the amount of calories you'd burn if you just laid in your bed completely still all day long, like some of y'all did last Sunday. While we usually associate exercise with calorie loss, in reality every single body process requires energy. This includes brain function, respiration, digestion, your heart pumping, everything. That's what makes this the largest chunk of your calories that you burn daily. Apart from a few extreme athletes, your BMR accounts for 60 to 70% of your TDEE. The second variable is called your thermic effect of food, or TEF. Have you heard the myth that eating celery burns more calories than what's in it? Well, if you have, it's not true, but the gist of it does have some truth to it. TEF is the amount of calories used to digest, absorb, transport, and dispose of food. For example, carbs have a TEF of 10%, meaning that if you eat 100 calories from carbs, your body uses 10 calories to digest, absorb, and transport nutrients. On average, this accounts for 10% of your TDEE. Then we have the third and fourth variables. We'll speak about these together as they have the most variability. Plus, they're the 2 variables you have significant control over. These 2 variables are EAT, exercise activity thermogenesis, and NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Together, we could simply call these your activity levels, but they are distinctly different. EAT is the amount of calories you burn through exercise, that is, an activity you choose to perform that's not essential for life but for enjoyment. This is where exercise and the gym fall short. When taking everyone into account, this number can vary quite a bit. For some extreme athletes, it might account for 30 to 40%. However, for most people, this only accounts for 5 to 10%. On the other hand, NEAT refers to all the activities you do that are not for exercise. This includes things like walking through the mall, getting out of bed, brushing your teeth, going to the park to take pictures, or clicking on this video. If you have ever heard of the 10,000 steps, it's really talking about increasing NEAT. Now, most people completely underestimate this low-intensity movement, but it builds up over the day. In fact, on average, NEAT makes up 15% of your TDEE. However, TDEE can vary a lot from person to person. For example, someone working in an office will move around much less than a construction worker. Okay, as we now know what your TDEE is, let's go back to losing weight. So, to lose weight, we would then need to use a formula or a calculator to complete your TDEE. We need to keep in mind your TDEE includes the number of calories you burn from exercise. So basically, if you train 6 times a week, your TDEE will be more than if you train 2 times a week. For example, if you train twice a week, maybe yours is 3,000 calories, while it might be 3,150 if you train 6 times a week. So, to lose weight, you must eat less than your TDEE. As you see, training more allows you to eat slightly more and still lose weight, or you could eat the same amount and lose more weight, or a third option. But before we get into that, we need to speak about a topic often lost when discussing weight loss. People will talk about weight loss as if they can burn thousands and thousands of calories daily with no ill effects. This does not happen. In reality, if you go too far into a caloric deficit, you put yourself at risk of losing muscle mass. When going into any deficit, your body is going to need to find energy. Under normal circumstances, your body will simply draw from your fat stores, and that would suffice. However, in a large deficit, your body will really be scavenging for energy, and drawing from your fat stores may not be enough. Therefore, your body will break down muscle so it can use the amino acids for energy. Further, if you go into a large deficit for too long, it can also have some other unintended consequences, such as lowering your metabolism as a means to conserve energy. Therefore, the majority of experts recommend a person get into a slight 300 to 500 caloric deficit daily to see healthy weight loss. This amount will allow steady weight loss while minimizing the risk of any negative effects. Now, these 500 calories can come from either increasing physical activity, cutting out calories, or the third option, cutting out calories and increasing physical activity. This brings us back to our main focus, explaining why exercise is not the best way to lose weight. We need to clarify what we mean, as there are a bit of semantics involved. We're saying that exercise is not the best way. We're not saying exercise doesn't play a part. In fact, it plays a very important part. Numerous studies show that diet plus exercise is better for losing weight compared to just diet alone or just exercise alone. So, it's not that exercise isn't good for losing weight, it's your mindset in the role that exercise plays that's important. Let us explain what we mean. Generally speaking, when people use exercise to lose weight, they'll follow a program that's designed to lose weight. Kind of a no-brainer, right? These programs usually consist solely of cardio, aerobics, possibly HIIT or circuit-style training, if you're lucky. So what's wrong with that? Well, these styles of training are not bad in the least, and we believe everyone's program should include a bit of it all. However, when that's all you do, you waste your gym's primary purpose, which is to build strength and increase muscle mass or maintain muscle mass. As we stated above, you have 2 ways to adjust your calories, by your nutrition and by activity. This means you already have nutrition to cut calories from your diet, and remember, it's only 500. Therefore, you don't really need to use the gym to burn the extra surplus of calories, as that's what your diet should primarily be for. And unlike cutting calories, which can be done with your nutrition, there's no other way to build or maintain muscle if you don't do it at the gym. Remember what we said at the beginning of this video about going into a deficit. Your muscle can break down. In reality, this is always a risk when in a deficit, big or small. However, if you stay in an appropriate deficit and follow a strength and muscle building program at the gym, any muscle loss that may occur will be heavily mitigated. Again, you're unable to do this if you exercise for calorie burn rather than muscle gain. Therefore, instead of going to the gym to burn calories, you should go to the gym to either build muscle or maintain muscle. But with that said, it's also important to realize another factor: you're still going to burn calories by lifting weights. Just because you don't go to the gym specifically to burn calories, it doesn't mean you're not going to burn calories. Of course you are. Now, it's true that you would probably burn more calories by doing cardio for an hour. There are a ton of variables, but 600 calories an hour is a good estimate. So now let's look at weightlifting. Again, a ton of variables, but burning 200 to 300 calories from lifting weights is a pretty good estimate. So obviously there are other ways to burn more calories in the gym. However, this brings us to another extremely important aspect. You can't out-train a bad diet. We're sure you've heard this before, but it needs to be repeated and understood. Think about it. Originally, you became overweight from overeating. In fact, everyone throughout history has become overweight from overeating. This means that your diet is the primary problem. If you burn 500 calories at the gym but then eat an extra slice of pizza because you're a little extra hungry, you just ruined it. Therefore, if you use the gym to lose all your calories, you aren't fixing your real problem, your nutrition. Remember, you will never gain weight from not working out enough. Rather, you always gain weight from eating too much. Weight loss is not a product of how much you train, but how much you eat. Making exercise the main tool ignores this fact. Therefore, if you never get control of your diet, you're always at risk of regaining fat. And many do. And it won't come from not working out enough. Further, you don't want to get in the habit of, quote, burning off a late night. It's not uncommon for people to go to the gym because they ate too much the night before. Therefore, you must control your diet. If you control your diet, you don't need to worry about burning thousands and thousands of calories. Rather, you can concentrate on lifting to maintain your beautiful muscles. During your weight loss journey, you should use the gym to maintain muscle mass and use your nutrition to control your calories. Do you see the subtle difference? It's not saying that you can't use the gym in your weight loss journey. In fact, we strongly recommend that you do. However, burning calories is simply a bonus. It's not its purpose. On the contrary, you use your nutrition to lower your calories. And this concept is true if you're gaining weight, losing weight, or maintaining it. In fact, many high-caliber coaches won't even adjust a program of a long-term client based on if they're gaining or losing weight. Now, this doesn't mean that there won't be any alteration at all. It just means there are not two completely different programs. So now you understand the title of this video. Of course, we think that using exercise in your weight loss journey is a good move. In fact, we think you should, and to prove this, we're going to list just a few awesome benefits you get from lifting weights while losing weight. 1. It may help build muscle if you're new to training. 2. It'll help mitigate muscle loss if you've been training for some time. 3. It'll burn extra calories. 4. It can improve executive function, which can lead to better nutrition choices. 5. It sets you up for a healthy lifestyle. 6. It will increase bone strength. And 7. It can improve your hormone profile. We could keep going, but you get the point. Lifting weights is awesome when used correctly. So this begs the question, how should you lose weight? As mentioned, your training doesn't have to change at all. You could use the same program you used when gaining weight while losing weight. This probably flies in the face of everything you've ever been taught, but it's true. As we just went over in this video, your primary goal when getting to the gym while losing weight is to mitigate muscle loss. While there are admittedly no scientific studies to back this next part up, there's a theory amongst strength coaches that you should primarily use compound movements with heavy loads while losing weight, 85 to 95% of your 1-rep max, or the most you can lift. The reason you do compound movements is threefold. For one, you don't need to worry about isolation exercises as they are predominantly used to build muscle. As you're not necessarily interested in gaining muscle while losing weight, isolations don't have as much of a purpose. To be clear, doing one isolation per joint is always a good idea just to maintain your joint health. You just don't need to do 4 variations of bicep curls in the same session. Secondly, while we literally just had a whole video on why your training shouldn't be designed to burn calories, using compound exercises will burn more calories in the long run. That's why we said secondly, as it's more like a bonus rather than the reason. But still, compound exercises use more muscle mass, which will translate to extra calories burned. The third, and again, while there are no studies to actually back this claim up, there is a theory that heavy compound exercise will better promote the need to maintain muscle. Now, once you get in your heavy lifts, you could end with a circuit or a round or two of HIIT. In fact, you could just perform your isolations in a circuit. Adding a session of HIIT at the end of a session could burn a few extra calories that'll build up over time. However, it should never take precedence over weight training. And of course, remember at the very beginning when we talked about NEAT. Do not underestimate NEAT. Try to make it a point to add some light-intensity walking to your daily life, as this is especially true if you work in an office. Now, this kind of borders on the line of NEAT and EAT, but that's not the point. The point is that adding some light-intensity activity daily will make a huge difference. The more, the better, but try to do at least 30 minutes a day. Or a really easy fix is just ride your bike to the gym. Again, this will increase your calorie burn while allowing you to use the gym for weight training. If anything, realize that you don't always need to ruin yourself to burn calories. Sometimes a 60-minute walk through your local park is all you need. Let's remember that we're only trying to hit a 500-calorie deficit. We're already getting about 200 calories daily from training, so walking an extra 30 to 60 minutes daily gives us an extra 50 to 100 calories. This means now you just need to cut around 200 calories out of your diet. That's like 2 bananas. Easy. Study after study has shown that diet and exercise is always better than either exercise only or diet only. By using both, you now have 2 tools to alter your calories and a tool to maintain your muscle mass. You can then also throw in some light activity for a well-rounded plan. This will maximize the benefits and it'll be your best approach every time. So back to exercise not being the best way to lose weight. What is it? Well, dieting and lifting weights are.